Honorable Ali, I'm afraid I'll have to interrupt you again because we do not have a lot of time, and I'm sure that you're aware of that. First of all, you haven't spoken to the fact that you mentioned the other side. And I did talk about how, you know, it would seem that a party is divided. You quickly butt in there. I thought you were going to defend that, but you haven't done that. You made reference to the history of the House of Representatives, even the 7th Assembly. And it would seem that your own reading will be very different from the reading of many other people to what happened in the 7th Assembly, in the sense that there was a speaker who was elected by the majority, and not just any kind of majority, but a very strong majority of both the opposition and even PDP members in the House as at that time. And for many other people's reading, or to many other people's reading, it would seem that the PDP put its foot down in terms of who eventually became the majority leader of the House and how that happened. Wasn't that what transpired in the 7th Assembly?
No, we have always insisted. The party called us once, and they called us to the International Conference Center, and we walked out on the party. The reason we walked out was because they insisted that there was going to be a straw poll. And we told them that we were not going to conduct any straw poll, and we walked out. And they allocated 3 votes to us and took 174 for themselves.
I'm sorry, Honorable. I asked you a question as to what exactly. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Honorable. Just a moment, Honorable, if you can hear me. I asked you a question as to what transpired in the 7th Assembly. Was my reading of it clear? I mean, did I get the facts right as to what transpired in the 7th Assembly? And, you know, perhaps then you can relate it to how this affects the 8th Assembly in terms of the House's tradition. But was that reading correct in the 7th Assembly?
I'm giving you the background. The party called us, and we explained to them that the presiding officer of the House of Representatives can only be elected on the floor of the House, not by a straw poll. And that was what happened, because members of the PDP and other parties, ABGA, have a right to be part of the process that will lead to the emergence of our presiding officers. This is a position we explained to the party.
Let me come in here. We have to break this down. I hope you can hear me. The thing is, most Nigerians are worried because all what they smell from the National Assembly is selfishness. Well, I think we lost that connection. We do hope that we'll be able to get you back, Honorable Ahman Pategi, so that you can also expatiate more on this particular matter. He did say, well, okay, good thing you're back. Sorry we lost you there for a moment. I wanted you to react to what so many Nigerians are saying on this particular matter. They believe that, well, what vibe they're getting from the National Assembly is not nationalistic in outlook whatsoever. They think that almost everyone, irrespective of what divide you are in, is selfish. Because these matters, how does it affect the nation when you talk about having people from different zones? In any case, when you say since 1999, that has been the tradition. Don't forget that that was with the PDP-led government. Are we going with the PDP set rules or culture in the National Assembly, in the 8th Assembly?
This is not about PDP. On the day that we were discussing the roadmap, the legislative agenda for the 8th Assembly, was when the unruly honorable members on the other side decided to desecrate that house. We all saw that one of those that the party is insisting on foisting on us as leader climbed that table that we saw, that has the maze that contains the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, that equally has on it the legislative houses and privileges volumes, and they were tossing it around, using it as weapon to attack our leader, the Speaker, Honorable Dogara. And that is the person that the party is insisting should be our leader.
Let me come in here. It hasn't
Not
answered
a
my
deputy
question.
leader.
My question is about national,
Look, the
interest
people who are
and
selfish are
selfish
you, the
interest. Let
president.
me break it down. I'm sorry, I have
Nigerians
to.
voted for the APC, and we should be seen to be doing the work. We should be playing now the complementary role that is required to assist the president in ensuring that the welfare and
Does
the
it
well-being.
worry you? You haven't started that at all?
Does what worry me? That we should make accommodation for an individual from Lagos and keep whole zones in the federation without representation?
We'll come back to this, talk about
position.
individual, because this is
The
almost the
person who
second
is
time
selfish
you
is the
have.
person that is pushing that position on us.
Honorable Pategi, a moment here. Honorable Pategi, a moment
My
here.
zone, the North Central caucus of the APC, was excluded entirely from the party arrangement. And you see, we are talking about the party. Who is the party? We had a letter written to us. We have organs of the party. Was it the BOT that met? Was it the neck of the party that met, that came with that decision? Was it the governors that met, that insisted that Honorable Femi Gbaja should be our leader?
Just give me a moment. Let me bring in my question to you now. Would it be right, from all what you have said, to say that this is not a fight between your group and the party, but your group and an individual?
That's right.
So what's the grounds with the individual?
The individual submitted himself to a fair contest. He wanted to be speaker. And we rejected him and voted for somebody from the Northeast. Having voted in the Senate, our party and those present on the day of the election voted for the North Central to hold the position of the Senate President in the Senate. We operate a two-camera house.
Yeah, we know it's by camera, but do you have the zoning? Do you have zoning formula in your party, the APC?
How did the chairman of the party emerge if it is not through zoning? It is zoning that brought the chairman of the party. No zone in this country contested against him. It was him and Ikibe that contested at the time. How can you say there is no zoning?
Let me, I'm excited you're saying this. When Ikimi, Mr. Chief Tom Ikimi contested that particular election with John Odige Oyegun, who is now the chairman of your party, who submitted the names or who agreed for those people to emerge or to come as contestants?
That is a question for the party.
It came from the party. Why is it that now that your party is also towing that same line of action they did during that time with the National Assembly, you have decided to flout that?
We are not flouting anything. Let me give you an analogy. How do you insist on something that is a non-starter? You say that the zone that produced the speaker and the deputy speaker should have two positions added to them respectively. And the zones that don't even have anything, that you are going to leave them without anything. Let me tell you that the North Central Zone contributed to the success of this party. All the 6 states, including the FCT, were totally PDP zones, states. And we changed overnight from Plateau to Benue, to Kwara, to Nasarawa, to Niger. And the only position we had, which is that of the Senate President, somebody wants to take it away from us.
It would be unfair for you to say that they have the deputy speaker because that wasn't what the party wanted. The party, you are swapping this and making it look like it's a fair deal. What the party wanted was that particular
zone. There were 4 zones.
If you said the deputy speaker is from the Southwest, that wasn't the intention of your party. Your party wanted the speaker to be from the Southwest and not the deputy speaker.
And there is a reason I said earlier why the Southwest cannot have the speaker. This is about politics. And the Southwest already had the vice president. And we felt that 4 zones contributed to the success of the APC. The Northwest, that already had the president, the Southwest, that had the vice president, And we insisted that the other two zones that were strong in ensuring the success of the APC should equally be given two positions, number 3 and number 4. So why should the Southwest insist on having number 2 as well as number 4?
Honorable, if you take your mind back, since you've spoken about what happened previously as the rules of the House, how do you explain that the Vice President and the Speaker in the last administration, were they not almost from the same zone?
You see, I've listened to this, and this is rubbish. When the truth about it is this, when we produce the present governor of Sokoto State, Right Honorable Aminu Tambo, as Speaker, I have explained it. Every party in government usually distributes the 6 principal positions of the House of Representatives to each of the 6 geopolitical zones. The other 3 positions, for instance, I'll give you an example, are left for the minority parties. So when you had the Speaker from the Northwest, we had the Deputy Speaker from the Southeast, that is Honorable Emeka Ihedioha. And Honorable Mulika became our leader, and Leo Ogo became the deputy leader to her from the South-South zone. Then we went to the Northeast, and Honorable Bauer was picked as the whip. And my zone took the weakest link in the leadership, which was the deputy whip. Honorable Mukhtar from Suleja was the one. You see, this is the practice since 1999. Now, I know what the other people are saying. And what are they saying? That Right Honorable Tambua, our Speaker in the 8th Assembly, came from Sokoto, which is the Northwest. And 2 other members from the Northwest region also were part of that leadership. But you see, Honorable Kawu from Kano State and Honorable Dati from Kaduna State represented the interests of the minority parties. Honorable Dati is of the CPC extraction, while Honorable Kawu was from the ANPP. The majority party, the government in party, is the one we are talking about here. And the practice since 1999 has been the sharing of these 6 positions. When you have the government in power, the party that forms the government will ensure that there's equity, there's justice and fairness in distributing these positions. And this is where we stand.